What's going on, everybody? It's Cody here from TideWe Outdoors. Today we're going to be talking about the TideWe see-through blind. Now we have a couple of these blinds out. We have the 3-in-1 see-through blind, we have the Silent Plus see-through blind, and we also have just our original see-through hunting blind. I've been getting a ton of questions on how exactly I set this blind up and what the easiest way to set this blind up is. I know I posted a video in the past, probably about a couple months ago now, explaining how to set this blind up. Since then, I've used this blind over the course of the months here, turkey hunting, deer hunting, and just setting the blind up in general. And I've came up with some better ways and some quicker ways to set this blind up. And today I wanted to kind of walk through just a little better way of setting this see-through blind up that you're not out there in the woods struggling with this, trying to get it set up. Now, the biggest concern was how to set the roof up. Don't worry, I'm gonna walk you guys through every step of the way here in this video. We'll get this blind set all the way up from the bag here, set up, and then taken down and put back into the bag. So if you guys are new here, definitely go down and hit that subscribe button down below. We post all sorts of review content here of all the products that we have here at TideWe. If you guys are interested in checking out any of these TideWe see-through blinds, you can check them out at www.tidewe.com. You can also get them at www.truewildlife.com. True Wildlife is our new whole order entity. Along with some of our other brands there, you'll be able to find everything there as well. Now, where I am right now is actually in the basement of Underground Outdoors here in Brillion, Wisconsin. This is actually their shooting range, their archery range that they have down in the basement of this building. And these blinds are also going to be made available here in Brillion as well. So if you're in the area, you're local, you live anywhere near Brillion, Wisconsin here, you'll definitely be able to come over and get these blinds as they're going to be available here too as well. Let's go ahead. We'll start by getting this out of the bag. It's going to come just like this in the package, and when you get it out of the box, all you have to do is undo this little drawstring package here. We'll be able to tip this upside down. We'll be able to pull the bag right off of the blind itself. We'll set that bag aside. Now, this is a pack of stakes that you're gonna get with the blind as well. There's also strings in here as well. So if you wanted to tie this blind down, stake it down to the ground, you can do that. I highly recommend that, especially if you're gonna be leaving it out in the woods or out on a field edge for a duration of time. These tie down stakes and strings in this little bag are definitely gonna help your blind from basically disappearing on you. So make sure you're tying your blind down. There's actually stake holders on all four sides of the blinds, and then you can also put stakes down into the ground on each of the four corners on the bottom too as well. I'll overlay some footage on how exactly to do that, but this is in the package as well. So we'll set that aside. Now what you're gonna have left here is the actual blind itself. If you have these, basically these hub caps facing up, what you're gonna wanna do is just turn that back to this direction so that those hubcaps are actually on the ground. Then you can kind of just let this thing sprawl out, figure itself out. And if you notice, this is actually one of the four sides that we have here. You can see the window there, and there's a little strap right in the middle of this whole section here. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold this down tight. I'm gonna grab this section, we're gonna lift it up, and we're just gonna get this side popped out. Just like that. Once you get this side popped out, popping the rest of it is also very simple. You can kind of just lay it down on the ground, come around the corner here. Basically just want to manhandle this thing and get all of these sides popped out here. If something like this happens where the sides kind of overlap each other, all you want to do is just kind of pull it apart just like that. And you can pop that next side out. And we'll just do it again on all the sides here. So this is actually the roof, and we can grab this last side, get this popped out, and there should be actually one more. Yep. And we'll just pop out this side as well. There. So now if we basically turn this thing around, all four of the sides are popped out. Now, like I said, sometimes when you are popping this thing up, those sides kind of like to tangle or top of each other. So if that ever happens, like I said, just pull those apart and continue getting those sides popped out. Now, as you can tell, the roof is not popped. Now, if you're tall, you got long arms, I'm not. You can reach over and try to pop this roof up, but you can notice that's gonna be really hard to do if you don't have any sort of leverage basically over the top of this blind to pop it up. So what I recommend you do is you find the door. So this is gonna be the door here. Because this is a silent plus see-through blind here, this is actually gonna be buckled in here, and then these are magnetized. This door is magnetized so you can open and close it quietly, without disturbing anything in the woods, obviously, that you're trying to hunt there. So we're gonna open this door up. Now, if we step in here, we can basically try to open this door up so you guys can see, but all I'm gonna do is just step on one of the sides here, just kind of fold it over and step on it. And by doing that, I'm gonna be able to basically just push up on the center of the roof there and pop that roof out. So now the blind is set up and you're basically good to go. So now you can set this up, you can tie this down wherever you want to place it, whether you're placing it in the woods, on a field edge, whatever it may be, and you'll be good to hunt out of this thing for the time being. I'll just kind of show you guys the biggest difference on the Silent Plus blind that we have here. If you notice the front of this blind, you're gonna have 3 of these trapezoidal style windows. And the biggest difference between our original see-through blind and the Silent Plus see-through blind is this side right here. This is going to be the most critical side that is going to be used for basically bow hunters. Now, we decided to add this big trapezoidal style window on the front here. This one's going to be used for anybody trying to bow hunt basically from the ground. If you guys watched it, I actually killed a turkey out of this blind about a couple weeks ago now during bow season for deer. This window gave me plenty of space to be able to be pulled back, move it back and forth wherever I needed to be without having to worry about shooting any of the sides on this window with my bow. So that gave me a ton of room. And then we also have these bigger trapezoidal style windows on the sides here just in case you are basically elevating this thing. If you're putting it up on a platform, these windows are going to give you that opportunity to be able to shoot down at your target and not have to worry about your arrow hitting or your limbs or anything like that hitting any of the windows on your shot. So that was the biggest main difference between this original see-through blind that we came out with and this Silent Plus see-through blind. So now you are done hunting, you want to pack this thing up and put it back into the bag. This is going to be very, very simple. The biggest thing that I suggest is just making sure that all of these windows are closed up. You want to have all these things open because then those windows are going to be loose, just kind of hanging around, and they're going to be more apt to get damaged. So I would suggest going in there, closing all your windows up, closing your door up, making sure everything's tight, and then you can go ahead and start breaking this blind down. So I'm going to go in, close all the windows and the door, and then I'll show you guys how to go about breaking this blind down and putting it back into the package. The nice thing about this blind in here with these windows is there's actually clips and loops in here so that the windows don't slide around and they actually stay closed. So you're going to want to make sure that you slide all these windows shut with the silent slider system that we have installed on these blinds, and then just use that little hook to make sure that these windows remain closed. Now that we have everything closed up here, we are now ready to start breaking this blind down. Now, the easiest way that I have found to break this blind down and put it back into the bag is to break it down the exact same way that you set it up. So by that, I mean we're gonna pop the roof down, then we'll pop all the sides down, and we'll be able to fold this blind right up and it'll fit right back into the bag. We'll start by popping this roof. Once again, this is gonna be pretty simple, and you're gonna push that roof down. Now that you have the roof down, it doesn't matter what side you start with, you can just come in here and you can start popping these sides one by one. And the blind is gonna slowly kind of start to fold together here, basically doing all of the work for you. So now it's basically exactly how it was when we started to set this blind up. All we have to do is pop this final side, just like that. And we can basically just pull the bottom up and fold the blind together, just like this. So it is exactly how it was when we pulled it out of the bag the first time. The easiest way to get this blind back into the bag is to make sure that you have these hubs going into the bag first. That's just gonna make this a lot easier. Everything's gonna fold down nicer, and you're gonna be able to find yourself putting this into the bag actually a little quicker by doing it that way. Have the bag in hand here, make sure the drawstring's completely open. You can tuck the instructions and everything inside the bag so those are not in your way. And then just make sure this little string is outside the bag as well, because you're gonna need that later to be able to basically close this bag up. We can go ahead, you can just grab your blind here. I like to grab it just like right in the middle here with one arm, just kind of squeeze it so all that material is just kind of closed shut and basically cinched a little tighter so that it goes into the bag. Then all we're gonna do is we'll take the front of the bag here, the open side of the bag, and we'll put it over those hubcaps. And then you're just gonna work the bag up the blind, get it back in here. Like I said, you can kind of just push all the material down. It'll kind of fold up real nice back into the bag here. Once you get it about this far, I mean, you pretty much have it. You just gotta grab the bag and just kind of bounce it around a little bit, and boom, the blind is back into the bag. Don't forget, you do have your stakes out that you pick your stakes up. You can put them back into this little drawstring bag so that you have them for next time. I always like to toss those right back in with the blind here so I don't lose them. And then we'll take this string here that I told you guys to make sure that you leave outside of the bag, and we'll just drawstring that tight and tuck that string away, and we're good to go. This is exactly how the blind came out of the box. So that is how you set up and take down the Silent Plus see-through blind. Hopefully this video helped give you a better understanding on how we here at TideWe set the blind up and take it down. Sometimes, like I said, I know it can be a little bit of a struggle, especially when it's brand new out of the package. When you start popping some of those sides, they do like to tend to fold up on each other. And that is simply just because of the tension of the cross members that we are using with these blinds. We want to make sure that we're using the toughest, strongest cross members possible. That way, when this blind is set up 100%, that wind isn't blowing it around or basically blowing your blind in on you because those cross members are weak. So we have strong cross members, and like I said, sometimes they like to kind of do their own thing. But if you just pull it out of the bag, manhandle that thing, pull it apart like you need to get it set up, it can be very, very simple. Once again, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it did answer some of the questions you had. And if you would like to see more videos like this in the future, leave some comments down below on what you would like to see reviewed next. And as always, keep living your passion, and we'll catch you on the next video.